This is Transformers Generations IDW Deluxe Class Windblade. The figure is part of Wave 6 of the IDW Transformers Generations Deluxe Class figures. And here she is, one of the most anticipated figures this year, especially since she is a fan-built robot. You had to partake in a poll, and Hasbro, based on the survey, would create a comic book Transformer character and perhaps a toy. And this is what she turned out to be. I did participate in that survey, and I did choose that it would be a female doing recon. And well, yeah, I'm pretty happy that Hasbro took a lot of the suggestions and really made a gorgeous toy. Now, a lot of reviewers have mixed feelings about this figure. I, for one, am very pleased. The figure is just gorgeous, a brilliant figure. The engineering, I love the engineering on this one. The design, the silhouette, the gimmicks, unbelievable figure. And I can really just imagine why there was so much hype about the figure, and scalpers, toy hunters, collectors are really going after this one. Anyway, she comes with this comic book. I was half expecting it to be Windblade 1, but since it's a fairly recent issue, I doubt IDW would agree to that. Anyway, this is actually Chapter 8 of the Dark Cybertron saga. And it's nice because Metroplex has gone online, and Windblade does appear in this comic book as the caretaker of Metroplex, and and Metroplex sort of communicates with her, and yeah. Where does she say it? Right here. She is the name's Windblade. I'm in charge, and keeping Metroplex alive. So very interesting. If you've read the whole arc, the whole story about this particular comic book, you'll understand why. And then there's already a mini-series where Windblade takes center stage, but very nice all in all. It's not that big of a role here in this comic book. Anyway, enough of the comic book. What am I saying? So, figure, fantastic silhouette. Paint apps, there's hardly any issues, except, well, make sure the Autobot symbol, the logo, is painted on without any smudges. Let me see if I can get you a close-up on that. Sorry. Okay, and her makeup, that geisha looking makeup, make sure that it's painted on evenly. There are no smudges or excesses, and her eyes are painted evenly, and on her brow, and just the basic head, the paint on the head sculpt, that's the only thing you should look out for. Everything else is gorgeous, fantastic. Alright, stand her up. Now, a lot of collectors were complaining that she's a little bit loose. Well, on my figure, they're all pretty tight. She's very tight. All the right places are tight. Even the heel, I had no issues with this heel. It's pretty tight on mine. The waist, everything, it should not seem flimsy at all. I don't know what people are saying about it. Anyway, here is Beast Hunters RC, just to give you a size comparison on that. Yeah, she's right there. It's a good sized Fembot Deluxe Class figure. She does come with a scabbard for her sword, for her energy sword, and you can insert the sword right there. It's very tight. It's a tight hole, and it keeps the sword well in place. And I like the way the sword's been sculpted to also have like the rotor that's on her wings. The sword has pegs that you can peg on here or on the other side, if you want her to be right-handed. So pretty cool. I'm just not balancing her properly. What else? Lighting. Come on, man. The lighting off on this girl. Anyway, so there you go. it's just a wonderful, wonderful sculpt all around. Articulation, she's got a hinge and a ball joint for the neck. It's basically because of transformation, but the neck is on a ball joint. She's got a waist swivel, again because of transformation. Ball jointed shoulders, bicep swivel, hinge elbow, swivel wrist, ball jointed hips, thigh swivel, hinge knees, and yeah, that's about it. No ankle articulation or whatnot. Okay, what else? So very, very nice. Transform her. Some people say it's a flimsy transformation. It's not. It's decent enough for me. I didn't have too much problems with it. So what you want to do is you want to rotate the waist like this. There's only one piece of the transformation that I was a little bit worried about, and I'll talk about that later. So go ahead and rotate the fins like this. These are made of a little bit softer PVC material. Okay, go ahead and fold up her heels. This in time I can imagine will become loose over time, but on mine they're pretty tight. Not too many problems with that. Okay, go ahead and join the legs together. Alright, what you want to do is pop out the shoulders. Wait, you want to straighten out the wings at this point, just so you don't have to fumble with it later on. You want to just set it up ready for transformation. So go ahead and lower the shoulders like that. The head just folds in nicely at the back like that. Fold the nose cone first, I think, like that, and then you can collapse everything like that. Oh, sorry, you didn't see it. What am I doing? So, as I was saying, fold the nose cone directly on top of the head structure like that, very in a straight position, and then you can go ahead and tab the head and chest assembly underneath. So that's that. Okay. And then you want to fold up the, you can do this before, and this is probably the first thing you want to do. Fold up the shins and the front part of her feet. Again, it's very tight. You really need to get in there. Alright, and then yeah, just make sure the thighs are straight. Okay, and then the only thing left to do is just fold the shoulder pieces down over here. Make sure you don't scrape too much her head piece. Like that. Rotate the wings like this so that these pieces, they tab in up there. They don't really tab in, they just sort of stay there. Like that. Okay, and then these pieces, they fold out. And this is the point of the transformation that I'm a little bit worried about. I mean, there's a tab. I'll show you, there's a tab right there that tabs on to that hole right there. And over time, this particular piece, I can imagine, will become very, very brittle. And it's a tight hole, and you have to insert that peg in with a little bit of force. And just to take it out, you'd have to be very careful you don't break the fins. And I can see if kids are playing with this one, these are probably the first ones to go. Anyway, so once you've done that, oops, excuse me, just go ahead and properly align it. The arms, you want to go ahead and bend it at the elbow like that, and you're going to want to have her hold that piece. Same here, like that. And that is her jet mode, Windblade's jet mode. There is some landing gear. It comes out this way. Okay. And the rotors do swivel and go forward, so she has that vertical takeoff and landing feature, and she sits nicely on the floor. The sword does peg in on her butthole, the rear hip hole, and it's a nice way to cover up the thigh gap. She's a little bit that gap between her thighs, and you just need to insert that peg right there on her rear end, or underneath, I should say, because that's her hips. And then it's probably just gonna stick out like that. It won't be too obtrusive, I suppose. You know, it doesn't take away too much take too much away from the silhouette of the jet. It's still that there's still that fluid um, silhouette going on for this one. You can insert the you can remove the sword if you want and make it look a little bit more flat, but then you'll have no place to store this. Put it right back in. So very, very nice. Didn't have any problems at all with this figure for some weird reason. Well, the hips were a little bit loose and she was a bit top heavy, so there were some poses that required additional support. As Hasbro would say, it'd be very difficult to keep her standing in certain poses because of the shape of the feet, and because the table had very little friction and she'd be sliding here and there. But if you're standing on a very rough surface, she'd stand okay. So there you go, a very, very nice figure. This figure will obviously get a 10 out of 10 for me. It's a nice fan-made, fan-built figure that Hasbro has done, and I'm glad. I wish they'd do more of this. I'm sure they're going to reuse, redeco this mold, repaint this mold, and I cannot wait to get all those repaints. You know, fembots are always very nice and great addition to the collection. Even though I don't read a lot of the comic books, I can really appreciate how much this figure, how much effort has been put in this figure, and just an amazing figure. I've tried reading some of the issues of Meg Red Scott, the one she's done limited edition, limited series Windblade, but it's pretty good. It's actually pretty good. But I don't really collect the comic books that much because of the price. So there you go, folks. Hope you've enjoyed this video review. If you did, please click the thumbs up icon at the bottom. Follow me on Twitter, or share these videos. Follow me on Twitter for my toy purchases, Instagram for my toy sightings here in Manila, for those of you toy hunting, and check out all my video reviews and hauls on this channel, Chefatron. This has been Transformers Generations IDW Deluxe Class Windblade. Thanks for watching.